Get some help, Ricky Tercios. Stop smoking that weed. Come on. What is up, everybody? Welcome to Pub Sports Radio. This is the Draftkings Picks and Predictions show. This week we have UFC Vegas 65. We got Sergey Spivak going against Derrick Lewis. A nice 12-fight card here. And I'm actually really liking this card from a DraftKings perspective. A betting perspective, not really so much. A pick perspective, not really so much, but from DraftKings, I think it's a really good DraftKings card. So looking forward to it. As always, we are here. We got Weezy, we got Gordo, and we got Monk. We'll start with you, Weezy. Weezy, what is up? Are you looking forward to Chase Sherman fight week?
Dude, I don't know how many units I'm going to have on Chase Sherman by the time this is all said and done, but it's a number that I'm not going to be comfortable with at all. Like I've already one unit deep, and I'm not done yet, and I'm terrified, absolutely terrified. But this is what we do, you guys. We try to find lines and prices that are out of whack with where the market should have them. I'm seeing some good spots this week. I'm really fired up to chop it up with you guys here tonight.
Yeah, I have a half a unit on Sherman, and I've been pissed about it all week. Like, I can't sleep. I can't. It's bad. But, I mean, I had to take the shot. So, yeah, we'll see what happens. We got Gordo in the building. What is up, Gordo? You looking forward to the card?
Yeah, credit to you guys for taking the shot. I don't think I'll get there with you guys, but this is a very interesting card. I think from a skill level point of view, we can definitely improve, but I think it's a very, very fun card from a DraftKings point of view. I think we got a lot of fun things we can do. Of course, I'm not going to mention the whole late swap thing, but I do think that this is a pretty fun card from a DraftKings perspective with a lot of fun angles, and I'm excited to hear your thoughts on all of it.
Yes, and last but not least, we got Monk. Monk, you look forward to the card. How are you liking this card from a DFS perspective?
No and decent. I'm looking more forward to the break next week than I am, I think, of this actual card. There are some interesting, we'll put that in quotes, fights on this one. I mean, Charles Johnson at 8,700, what are we doing? Brady Highstand, even though he's going to smash 8,500, what are we doing? Vanessa Demopoulos at anything less than 6,500 is what are we doing? Like, there are some interesting spots here, some spots I'm going to be hammering, and which means there's definitely going to be some interesting results at the end of the week for sure.
Yes, sir. Got a nice break next week, and then we end the year with three really good cards in December. We got UFC Orlando, which is going to be a phenomenal card. I'm tempted to go to that one. And then we have UFC 282, which is going to be awesome as well. So I'm curious to see how our little competition goes, and I can't wait to talk about the results towards the end of the show. But before we get started, guys, if you guys can please leave a like on the video, subscribe here to Pub Sports Radio. We do go live every Wednesday, 7 o'clock p.m. Eastern Time. But I say we start it and start with the fight to target. And I will kick us one off. I'm going to take the main event. Sergey Spivak, Derrick Lewis. It's minus 600. Fight doesn't go to decision. That's on BetOnline. But on FanDuel, they actually have minus 1,000. Fight doesn't go to decision, which honestly, I think that makes a lot of sense. The way these two guys fight. We have striker versus grappler. And I see this fight playing out one of two ways. The first way, and this is kind of the way I'm leaning and why I will have more of this guy, is Sergey Spivak going out there, getting takedowns, kind of drowning Derrick Lewis, and either pounding him out with the TKO or getting a submission in the second or third round. Or Derrick Lewis, the guy has a ton of power, most knockouts in UFC history, and Sergey Spivak has been knocked out twice. I could see Derrick Lewis potentially knocking out Sergey Spivak. So I'm 100% owned on this fight. Lean on Spivak. I think it went like 60-40 in favor of Spivak. Either Spivak's going to get takedowns, put up a massive score, or Derrick Lewis pulls off the upset and lands a big knockout shot. So I love the main event, and it is my highest exposed fight of the card. Monk, how about you? What is your favorite fight to target for UFC Vegas 65?
I completely agree, and I'll just give you a little different angle. I'll also be 100% owned on this fight, but I'll be way higher on Spivak than Lewis, probably 80-20, 85-15. I'm not giving Lewis too much of a shadow of a doubt. He scores like 80 points when he wins on average, so I'm not too interested in that. But like I said, I will have a bit of him. These guys have fought a total of 5 times since 1/1/21. Average fight time less than 7 minutes. DraftKings points per minute, 16.8. Let's see. Scores times them or their opponents have scored over 100 points, 6. 9 of these 10 fights have ended by way of finish. 4 of them have ended by way of finish in the first round. 7 times either Lewis, Spivak, or their opponents have made the optimal lineup. That's all you need to know about this one. There's literally like 1% chance this goes to decision. So give me this one for sure.
Yep, if it goes to decision, more specifically over 4.5 rounds, my ass will be shaved for the night. Weezy, what is your favorite fight to target for this card?
I like the Cuțelaba and Nzechukwu fight. You know, I see this as the kind of fight where either Cuțelaba gets off early and gets the job done early, or he flames out, gives up late, because Kennedy is very durable and pushes a pretty good pace, and he's got great conditioning. So we've seen Kennedy get a couple of finishes later in fights here, specifically the Danilo Marquez fight. So I could see either one of these guys scoring over 100 points in a win, and specifically Cuțelaba scoring about 4.23 DraftKings points a minute. So you got to love that, and the fact that his fights finish inside the distance almost every time. So I think it's probably the second or third best inside the distance prop on the slate. You got a really high scoring wrestler in Cuțelaba, and you got a durable guy in Nzechukwu who's gotten some late finishes and saved some scores where he was doing nothing. So I think no matter who wins this fight, they're going to score some points for you.
Yeah, right there with you. Gordo, what fight are you targeting this week?
Yeah, I completely agree. Usually I like to give myself a few fights that I want to make my fight to target, but this week there's really those two that really stand out. The Ion Cuțelaba fight, I guess we didn't all add a bit to that one. The fight doesn't goes around minus 360. Cuțelaba's a guy who shot out of a cannon early on, and I do think that style not only is going to wear on him, but it's also he's not very defensively sound. And I think it's a spot where, although Kennedy does struggle early on with that offense, not only will he have the better cardio and durability here, but he could also be able to catch Ion if he's able to slip up again. So I do think this fight ends early and scores well in the process, but so does that main event.
Sounds good. Yeah, we both, all four of us like that main event, and we like that co-main event. Two very good fights to target, and two fights that probably should inside the distance. Let's go to our fight to fade. Gordo, we'll go right back to you. What is your fight to fade for this week?
Yeah, my fight to fade this week, we're going to go with, let me pull it up here. Go with Zhalgas Zhumagulov and Charles Johnson. This is a fight that I do see go to decision a lot of the time, and I don't really know how much wrestling there's going to be in it. So with a fight that goes to decision, but guys who really struggle with not only volume, but finishing as well, I do think this fight doesn't score that well. And out of all these fighters in this price range, how often am I getting to someone like Charles Johnson 8.7, above Kennedy and Nzechukwu, above Brady Heistan, above Miles John? I don't really see myself getting to either guys in this price range. For that reason, it's my lowest owned fight of the night.
Yep, I don't hate that. For me, I'm going to go with Maryna Moroz, Jennifer Maia. It's plus 250. Fight doesn't go to decision. I think it's the most likely to go the distance here, and I think it does go to the distance more often than not. But there's no way I'm touching Maryna Moroz at 9,000. If anything, honestly, it's probably Jennifer Maia for me at 7,200. I feel like this fight can play out close, and I feel like Jennifer Maia, if she had any fight IQ at all, could very much so win this fight. Just go out there and get the fight down to the mat. But you know, how many times have we said that if Jennifer Maia wrestles, she's going to win, and she just doesn't. So can't really count on it. Probably my least favorite fight on the card to target, and a fight I think is close, and a fight I do think goes the distance. Weezy, how about you? What is your favorite fight to fade?
Sherman Acosta, I think, is a pretty good one to fade this week. I don't have much faith in Waldo Cortes-Acosta here. Neither one of these guys wrestles at all, so we got no grappling upside. I know it's a fight doesn't go to decision that's juiced up pretty good. There's a high probability that it does finish inside the distance according to the bookies. But as a bettor, I think I'd be going the other way. I don't know if I can count on either of these guys to do anything spectacular in the cage. So in that case, I think it's a pretty safe fight to just avoid here. But Sherman has got a lot of value this week. You know, I mean, he's not exactly a world beater at DraftKings by any stretch of the imagination, but he's less than $7,000 this week. It's pretty cheap. So, you know, that would be the guy I would play in this fight. But I mean, I see it being definitely one of the lower scoring fights on the slate.
Yeah, well, I'll talk about Acosta in the next section here. But Monk, what is your fight to fade?
I'll give you a fourth one, and we'll go Maria Oliveira, Vanessa Demopoulos. I'm not too interested in this fight from a DraftKings perspective. I probably like Oliveira to win, but she only scores 2.7 points a minute, 81 per win. Vanessa Demopoulos scores less than that, 80 per win. I mean, I don't see Demopoulos being able to land, many takedowns here. I think this is just going to be a boring kind of stand-up fight, in my opinion. And so I'm not too interested in it whatsoever. Some last-minute stats here in this fight. Much like the last breakdown of the Lewis Spivak, I'll give you the average fight time here in their 5 UFC fights, 12.48 minutes. Only one fight has finished. Never has anyone, them or their opponents, scored triple digits in any of these fights. Like I said, only one finish. No one has made the optimal lineup, them or their opponents, in either of these fights. I'm just not a fan of this one from a DraftKings perspective. I think you can get different in some other ways. And these salaries, I mean, usually they would intrigue me a bit, 8,200 and 8,000, but I'm just not into this fight for DraftKings at all. So give me the fade on Demopoulos and Oliveira.
All right, we all gave a different fade there, which doesn't happen too often. Going to go to the fighter to fade next. I will kick this one off, kind of like Weezy was saying. I'm going to fade Waldo Cortes-Acosta 9,100. I know it's a heavyweight fight. I know Chase Sherman has been finished before, but this price tag, it just doesn't make a ton of sense. Like, I see this fight as like a 50-50. I think the price tag should be much, much lower. I know Chase Sherman sucks, but, so does Waldo Cortes-Acosta here. I think it's going to be a close fight. Sherman is the better finisher in this fight. Acosta coming back after just fighting 2 weeks ago, getting his legs completely chewed up, coming in on short notice. I think it's a very winnable matchup for Chase Sherman. So I just won't get to a ton of Acosta 9,100. On top of that, I like Spivak more. I'm sure we're going to talk about Della, Maddalena more, and just some other guys around that range. So I'm going to be fading Waldo Cortes-Acosta for the most part. Gordo, how about you? What fighter are you fading this week?
Likewise, but I'll give you guys another one. I'm going to be fading Natalia Silva as well at 8.9K. The fight doesn't go decisions around -200 here. I don't think she has that same upside of that topper echelon of the price tag. So I don't think she necessarily has wrestling upside. I think it's tough for her to see finish upside here as well. I think her ceiling is nowhere near the likes of someone like Kennedy Nzechukwu or even Moroz for that reason. But I do think that Silva is one who should not be priced this high, and even at that doesn't score very well in her win condition as well. So be fading a bit of Silva as well.
And Monk, how about you?
I mean, how do you not fade Fernie Garcia in this position? This guy only has one UFC fight. That's fine. But he got beat handily, or at least not by the stats, but according to the judges, by Journey Newson. I mean, he scored 1 raw DraftKings point per minute. 1. That's got to be probably the worst number on the card. Meanwhile, Brady Heistand, who I'm not a fan of, did not look good against the aforementioned Ricky Tercios, who I'm sure we'll find out if he's a bum or not at some point at this show. Brady Heistand did score 5.23 points a minute. I'm thinking he's just going to take down Garcia over and over and over again until this fight either gets stopped or it goes 15 minutes, and Heistand could walk away with 120, 130. He could have all the control time. He could have all the takedowns here. I'm just not interested in Fernie Garcia, especially at this price tag. 7,700 seems like it's not high, but it's high for him, and it's high for the performance that we got against Journey Newson. So give me the fade on one Fernie Garcia.
And Weezy, how about you?
Yeah, I agree 100% with Monk there. I think Fernie's going to run into a dick saw on Saturday, but I actually put Maryna Moroz down. She's Jennifer Maia fights are DraftKings cancer. No takedowns, low volume, literally no chance of finishes in these fights. Moroz, I don't think, has ever been finished. The last time, what's her name, got finished, I think Brady might have been 12 years old. It was Sheila Gaff who knocked her out, I think, in 2013, Jennifer Maia. So, look, I mean, this is just, it's kind of a silly spot here to be taking either fighter. But paying up for Maryna Moroz, it's nothing more than really a leverage dart throw play in case somebody slips on a banana peel. But this one's going the distance, and paying that much for Maryna Moroz, probably not a good idea this week.
Not agreed. And Bootsy is on at Jennifer Maia as well. Just another reason to not play Moroz. So we'll get to our favorite dogs here, and let us start with Gordo. Gordo, favorite dog?
You know what? There's actually a bunch of dogs I can really tell you this week, but if you give me the chance to go first, one that I think that will go mention, because I'll leave you guys a couple of the fancy ones, but I'm actually going to be playing a little bit of Teresa Bleda. I think that at 7.3K, she has a very good ceiling potential upside in the spot here, whether that be with takedowns, control time. She's got very good ground and pound from top position as well. I do think that her ceiling is very high at this price tag. What I like the best about here, I think, is I don't see her getting finished as much as the people around her. I think that Ion, as well as he's a good DraftKings underdog. I do think that he has a very, very low floor because he could have finished. And same thing with Derrick Lewis as well. So I think that Maddalena has the ability to either go out there, score a dominant decision with many takedowns, maybe some finish from ground and pound. But if she's not able to do that, I do think her floor is around 30, 40 points with ability to go 15 minutes with Silva.
Yeah, on top of that, like her path to win is going to be getting the fight down to the mat in wrestling. So I do like that call. Weezy, how about you? What are you liking as far as the dog goes?
I'm going to go with Zhalgas Zhumagulov this week. He's not much of a DraftKings scorer, but I do feel like his path is going to be to mix in the wrestling here. And if he's able to do that, I think he can score a lot against Charles Johnson here. Johnson not particularly defensively sound, and Johnson's somewhat high volume, but he doesn't have a lot of power in his hands. So I don't really see Johnson getting a finish here. And Zhumagulov is a guy who will mix in that wrestling. He's not high percentage on his takedowns, but we just saw Johnson control for literally an entire 15-minute fight. So if Zhalgas wants to mix in the wrestling here, I think that opportunity is going to be there. $7,400 for a guy who's went to split decision with tougher fighters 3 years ago when Johnson was fighting over an LFA. I do like Zhalgas here a decent amount, and I think that he will be some good salary relief for you and have a really good chance of winning this fight.
Yeah, I think it's a super close. Like every Zhalgas fight is like 50-50 pretty much. So it makes a ton of sense to play him at that price tag. I'm going with somebody that is $100 cheaper. I'm going to go Ion Cuțelaba. I think Cuțelaba, if he wins this fight, it's in the first round. I think most people agree with that. 13 out of 16 wins coming in the very first round. And, Kennedy Nzechukwu, the light heavyweight Homer Simpson, is a guy that just gets his ass beat until his opponent gasses out. And that's definitely on the table here. But this is going to be one of the most dangerous guys Kennedy has fought. And Cuțelaba is going to go after it. He's going to get takedowns. He's going to press forward like a madman. And if Kennedy starts slow, which he typically does, Ion definitely has a chance to run right through him in the first round. So give me Cuțelaba. I think if he wins, he puts up just a massive score, and he's only 7,400. So Cuțelaba for me. Monk, how about you? Who are you liking?
I agree. It's Cuțelaba here by a mile, I think. 7,400, 4.23 points a minute, 110. When he wins, like Brady said, tons of first-round finish equity. Kennedy Nzechukwu is just does not score well overall in his career. I know in his last fight he did score well, 106, and he did score well against Olberg, but his average is just 81 per win. He only scores 2.59 points a minute, and he's $700 over his average salary. Meanwhile, we get Cuțelaba at 883 under his average, and I think he's got crazy knockout equity here, especially early. Like you said, Nzechukwu starts late. Rather, he just doesn't get it going early, and Cuțelaba comes out like a freaking madman with his hair on fire. So I'm notoriously poor at picking Cuțelaba fights. This is a guy I cannot figure out. I just can't figure out. So once again, I'm the old Bernie Sanders meme. Once again, I will be over the field on Ion Cuțelaba. I'm not happy about it, but the salary makes me a bit happier. So 7,400 could be a good dog situation here.
Fair enough. All right. Let us get into our prize picks section. There was a couple that stuck out for me. Curious to see what you guys came up with. But yeah, if you guys have not already, be sure to sign up on a prize picks using promo code PubSports. And I'm going to kick it to, I'm trying to look and see who's ready. Monk. I'm going to kick it to Monk. Oh, Gordo. I'm going to kick it to Gordo.
I meant me. I'm always ready.
Oh, you're ready. Oh, fantastic.
Oh, yeah. I'm
right.
always ready. Right. I've got 6 props here. They're only by 3 people apiece. So let me just quickly. I'm going to go Jack Della under 6 minutes. I'm riding the wave here. I don't think Danny Roberts is going to have the durability to. Look, Jack Della scores 8 DraftKings points a minute, guys. 8 DraftKings points a minute. That means he's out here doing work early, especially since both of his fights have not even touched the 3-minute mark. So give me Jack Della Maddalena. I think he rolls Danny Roberts. I'm playing him in every GPP lineup. I'll play him in every cash lineup. Give me Jack Della Maddalena here. Under 6 minutes fight time.
I hope you're right. If you're right, it's going to be a good night for me and for you, apparently. There we go. Let's go, Jack. And then Weezy, anything sticking out on prize picks this week?
Yeah. How about the entire bankroll on Brady Heastand over 2.5 takedowns, man? I mean, dude, that's round 1. That's round 1 when he gets 3 takedowns in this fight. Fernie Garcia folds like a lawn chair when somebody shoots a takedown on him, and this guy slows down as fight goes on. So, yeah. And Brady's not much of a finisher. I mean, he has finished, I think, 4 of his 5 professional wins, but up at this level, it's going to be a lot harder. Fernie's never been finished in his career. So I love Brady. He's staying over 2.5 takedowns. And I also like Spivak over 2 takedowns. I think the polar bear is going to throw Derrick Lewis around like a rag doll.
Yeah, I had the Brady over 2.5 takedowns as well. That one just jumped off the page. I think he gets it in the, the first half a round, probably. I mean, I think he can get 10 takedowns in this matchup. So, yeah, all over that one. And I have a Spivak one as well. I went with the over 100.5 points just because I feel like he's going to put up a monster score and a win, takedowns, control time, ground and pound finish. But the other one I'll give out is going to be, this might surprise some people, but Ricky Turcios over 63 significant strikes. I think he hits it. I mean, I think there's some recency bias here. In his fight against Brady, he landed 100 in a fight that he was taken down 6 times and controlled. Against Boston Salmon, he landed 110 as well. And in his last fight against Zahabi, I think it was just an anomaly because this is a guy that he lands so many strikes. He's so active. He did throw 235. He only landed 27. I think he might have been high in that fight. So hopefully he does not come in this fight high, because if he doesn't, I think he smashes that. This is a fight that I expect to play out on the feet for the majority of the time. So yeah, give me Ricky Turcios over those strikes. I think he just completely destroys that as long as he does not show up under the influence. And then Gordo, how about you? What do you like him?
Yeah, you guys mentioned a lot of them. I'll tell you something. I actually drove to somewhere I can actually play Prize Picks to play a lineup, including Turcios and Brady over 2.5 takedowns. The other one I like as well is Brady's over fantasy score. I think high stand, what is he, the 88, I think it is at right now? 80.5.
80.5.
Ooh,
I think he goes over that.
That's a
no
joke.
problem. So that and his takedowns. I also like the Turcios one as well. And maybe even some violence in both the Sergey fight and the Canadian Nzechukwu fight. I both think that there's a lot of great options on Prize Picks. However, the overs on both Brady high stands are the way to go for me.
Fair enough. Looks like we're all on the same page there. Again, if you guys have not signed up on Prize Picks using promo code PubSports, lots of fun on Prize Picks. All right, let us keep moving on. We have our favorite GPP play, and I'll kick this one off. I'm going Turcios. I think people are very low on this guy, and I get it. I mean, he looked like crap in his last fight. Probably one of the worst performances you'll ever see. And then I go and watch every other fight, and it's not like that. I know he landed at an 11% accuracy, but like I'm saying, I swear the guy was high or something. Like something had to be wrong with Ricky Turcios. I think he rights the ship here. And I remember being super high on Turcios last time. I talked him up all week. This guy's so active. He's always doing something, and he is. It's just in the last fight, he just didn't land anything. I think he lands more now, and I think if he wins here, he puts up a big score, and I think he's going to be pretty low owned just because people have a bad taste in their mouth, and I get it, rightfully so, but I think he gets back on track here. Like I said, as long as he does not come in under the influence, I think he should go out there and put up a big score. Gordo, how about you? Who are you liking as a GPP play?
Yeah, I'm going to go a bit easier, and I'm going to take, well, I mean, of course, it's not easy because I'm going against my capital rule here, but I'm taking Sergey Spivak, $9,200. I think he is the easy GPP play here. His ceiling is through the roof. We can all talk about not only the takedown defense, but where Derrick Lewis is hard at is in this point in time, but I do think that he definitely goes out there, gets an early win, and I do think he makes it look pretty easy. Of course, you have to be careful of the nuke of Derrick Lewis, and I tell everybody all the time, my number one rule is don't bet against Derrick Lewis. Well, this is not betting, right? This is Draftkings lineups. So I think I'm safe, right? But either way, $9,200, I think he's a pretty good play this week.
Yeah, I love it. Weezy, how about you? Who are you liking?
Jack Della. I kind of just think it's a matter of how badly Jack Della shaves ass this weekend. Does he go in there with like a straight razor and some cream and do a professional job, or does he go in there with like a rusty old razor and just cause razor burn and havoc and just like get this thing done in violent fashion? Whichever way he gets it done, he's probably paying off that price tag. He's the widest money line on the entire card, and I mean, like, we know that this dude can absolutely box, and there's probably gonna be a violent end to this fight.
I'll tell you what, I'm curious to see what hairstyle Danny Roberts shows up with, because last time in the trial, he showed up with like that blonde hair, and he looked awful in that fight. So hopefully Danny Roberts comes in with a new haircut. But if not, I agree, Weezy. I think he gets his ass shaved for sure. Monk, how about you? Who are you liking for GPP?
Yeah, I was going to give you Jack Della as well. I love that pick, Weezy. I'll switch it up and give you the guy I thought Weezy was going to pick and that's going to be someone I briefly talked about already, Brady Highstand. I'm not going to repeat myself. I just think this guy lands a gazillion takedowns. He probably scores a shitload of points, 110, 120, maybe even more, depending on the rinse and repeat factor from Highstand. So I don't think Fernie Garcia stands much of a chance here. I think this, I wouldn't be surprised if Highstand, even though, like I said, I'm not a huge fan of his, especially after watching his first fight, he could be $9,000 in this week. I don't understand why this line is so narrow. So give me Highstand. I think we're getting like the best value of the entire card right here.
Fair enough. All right. Favorite cash play. I'll kick it off. I love Jack Della Maddalena in this fight. It's no hot take either. I mean, he's the biggest favorite on the card and by a mile. I mean, he's minus 550. I see 620 on FanDuel. Like the next biggest favorite is Sergey Spivak at minus 200. I think he's a must for cash. You can't get away with this, from this guy in cash games, even at 9,600. I mean, if he was 10K, I'd probably go up and get him. I think he does finish Roberts probably in the first round. I mean, Trinaldo was hurting this guy the entire fight, 42-year-old Trinaldo. I think Jack has much more power. He's much younger, and I think he probably finishes the job there and does it early on. So, yeah, I like Jack in cash games. Not going to overthink it here. Weezy, who are you liking in cash this week?
I like Nosferatu. I think pretty much whenever you're going to go with a 711-year-old vampire, that it's like, look, how does that guy lose? He's undead. You can't kill him. He's going to be alive for another 700 years, you guys. Sergey Spivak has looked exactly like he looks right now since the Black Plague. Okay, he might have even been the one to cause it. So is Derrick Lewis going to be the one to actually end this guy's life? I mean, he might stun him with a couple of shots. He might actually win the fight, but Derrick Lewis is going to die before Sergey Spivak will. We all will. Okay, Sergey's going to be here after the nukes land. Okay, so like it's Sergey Spivak. You just don't bet against vampires in this sport. You don't ever do it.
What a hideous looking man he is, but he's terrifying. I think it comes to his advantage though, being so terrifying.
It does.
Monk, how about you? Who are you liking for cash?
Maybe what's his name? Bill Skarsgård or whoever can play him in his when Spivak's movie comes out. I love the Maddalena play. I love the Nosferatu play. Those guys are going to be in every lineup. Let me switch it up though, Brady. I'll echo what you've been saying, man. Ricky Turcios here. How does this guy lose to Kevin Natividad? Kevin Natividad. The guy scores 1.13 points a minute. Turcios and I kind of do disagree with you, Brady. While he may have been high in his last fight, he didn't just start smoking. Like this guy, if he was high in his last fight, he's been high in all of his fights. So I would look for something else. Does not seem like a newcomer when it comes to the world of marijuana. So yeah, just hey, if you've been smoking your entire fight career, just do it again. Last time was a fluke. You're going to smash Kevin Natividad, and you're going to pay off that $8,600 salary. I'll have this guy in a bunch of cash lineups this week. Pretty Ricky Turcios.
Let's go, Ricky. Don't disappoint me again, buddy. We got Gordo. Who you liking in cash?
And don't tempt me, Monk. I don't need any more confidence on Turcios. We're gonna keep it short and sweet here. Jack Della Maddalena, $9,600. Favorite cash play. Nice handpicked matchup for him. Good ability to win. Good ceiling. Good floor. I think he gets it done pretty easily.
Fair enough. Short and sweet. I like it. Favorite value play. I will kick this one off. I am going with somebody we've been talking about the entire time. It's Brady Highstand, 8,500. I just feel like he should be a lot more expensive just considering the upside he has. I just feel like he could go out there and I think he has the highest upside on the entire slate and he's only 8,500. Like I'd pay 9,000 for this guy. I think there's a ton of value on him. I like the matchup, takedown upside, control time upside, small cage, good cardio. Yeah, I think Brady smashes here and puts up the biggest score on the slate. So I'm all over Brady. I think he's a lot of value at 8,500. Gordo, who are you liking for some value this week?
Yeah, I'm interested to see what our lineups are like because we talk about a lot of the same fighters. This is where I wrote down Ricky Turcios in my value plays because I do think this is recency bias a million times over. If that fight never happened, Ricky Turcios is minus 250 in the spot. And I genuinely do think that. I know that a lot of people are down on him. So am I. I will never forget it. But he did lose to a Canadian, so maybe it's just something involved there. Maybe that's what it is. But no, I do think that this is a spot where he's bound for a bounce back. $8,600. He's got wrestling upside. He's got volume upside. I do think he even has finish upside with the pressure, with his crazy Hadouken style. And I do think he gets it done and decent value at that.
Monk, how about you? Who are you liking for some value?
I guess I'm going to have to go with our guy, the vanilla gorilla, Chase Sherman. The bottom line is, if this guy wins over an unproven Cortes-Acosta, the guy only has 8 pro fights, by the way. If he wins over Cortes-Acosta, I think any method will probably put him on the optimal lineup. He scores 3 points a minute, 102 when he wins. The problem is he doesn't win. That's the only problem, is he doesn't win. Both these guys beat Jared Vandera in their last fight. So that tells me absolutely nothing. Give me Chase Sherman with the experience. I mean, it's like we're in value, thank goodness, because at 7,100, like I said, the only reason I'm playing him is because he is so cheap.
Fair enough. I agree. Weezy, how about you? Who are you liking as a value play?
Yeah, it's Brady Heastand. I mean, I put a max bet on this guy this week. I was that confident that he was going to drown the very poor takedown defense of Fernie Garcia and just rinse and repeat with takedowns and wear him down and potentially even get a late finish. But in terms of DraftKings, like Brady said, I'd probably pay up to 92, 9,300 from this guy. I could see this guy easily getting 10 takedowns in this fight if it goes the distance, because Fernie can get back up. Fernie does have a wrestling background. It's just that Brady is relentless with his wrestling pace, and it's exactly the archetype of fighter that you chase after in DraftKings. With the old rule set, you just tried to get heavyweights that would finish. Now you can get guys that wrestle and that may go the full 15 minutes, but you might even score more in a 15-minute decision with a fighter like Brady than you would with, like, let's say Chase Sherman or Waldo Cortes-Acosta got a first-round knockout and it wasn't in the first minute. You know, Brady outscores both those guys probably. So he's great value this week. He should be by far the highest owned player on this slate, in my opinion.
Yeah, I think he's going to be up there with like Sergey Spivak and guys like that. But
Yeah.
Yep, looks like we're on the same page there. Let us go to our dart throw. Curious to your guys' thoughts on some of these. We'll start with you, Monk. Who are you liking as a dart throw this week?
It's got to be Derrick Lewis. I mean, his nickname should be Derrick the Dart Throw Lewis. That's about, you know, how he wins. Otherwise, he does not score well. 1.9 points a minute, one of the lowest on the card. 81 points in a win, meaning he is dependent on that nuke, as someone said earlier, to finish anybody and to make any kind of optimal lineup and to pay off salaries. This week, he's only 7K, so if he does win, it's not going to take much to pay off that salary. That's going to involve Sergey Spivak slipping on a banana peel, something to that effect, and just watching Lewis murder all of our lineups and parlays. But I'm really not expecting that. But with that said, I will be keeping him in my lineups about 15-20% just for the dart throw mentality. I mean, if this was anybody else, it would be 0 to 10%, but it's Derrick freaking Lewis, and I just can't shake that off my brain. So I'm gonna have to up it to 15-20% in hopes of a dart throw there.
Yeah, I'm the same. I mean, Derrick Lewis, he's the ultimate dart throw every time he fights. The dude has a ton of power, and he can put anybody out on any given night. So do I think he wins? No, but he's a dart throw for me. Weezy, who is your dart throw for this week?
Well, if you take your Uncle Weezy's dart throw this week, you can rest easy knowing that you will be literally the only person that rosters this young man.
Ooh.
Kevin Natividad is the ultimate dart throw. I found out something about Kevin Natividad that I didn't know this week. He's now training over at Fight Ready. That's a step up. And here's another thing, is I'm looking at my stats here, you guys. I've been keeping a stat. When you roster a fighter that is fighting somebody that needs to get help, they make the optimal lineup 83% of the time. And you guys, Ricky Turcios needs help. He needs our help. We need to reach out to him. He smokes too much weed. And that's coming from me, you guys. I smoke a lot of weed, okay? Ricky, get some help. Because if you don't, Kevin Natividad is going to be owned by one man, your Uncle Weezy, and he's going to knock him out in the first round. And then your Uncle Weezy's going to be rich, and I'll be able to actually pay for Ricky Turcios' rehab.
So I can't disagree with. I completely agree. Yeah, Turcios does need help, so we'll see what happens there. Monk, how about you? Who are you liking as a dart throw? Wait, we already talked to you, right? Gordo.
Correct.
Gordo.
Well, Monk can turn away for this one. I'm going Vanessa Demopoulos as my dart throw this week at $8,000. I don't think she necessarily is the most secure fighter, but I do think she has a path to victory. I'm not the biggest fan of her opponent in Maria Oliveira, and I do think that although Vanessa Demopoulos has a lot to work on. I think that she has not only the grappling, but I think she's got improving wrestling that could go out there and score very well. I think she's also going to be very, very low owned. You mix a lot together, low ownership, high ceiling. I don't mind her as a dart throw this week. And I do think she gets it done.
Yeah, I don't hate it. So what we're going to do now is we're going to take a look at our results from last week. If you guys in the chat have any questions, type them in the chat and we will get to them very shortly. But yeah, we have 4 cards left. We have this one and then 3 in December, and it is getting pretty tight here. So last week, if I can pull it up. All right. So last week we have in 4th place, Weezy with Aaron Blanchfield, 123, Dominic Reyes, 2, Adesanya, 57, Silvana Gomez Juarez, 31, Otman Azaitar, 4, and Carlos Barza, 16 for 235.81. In 3rd place was Gordo with Blanchfield, 123, Reyes, 2, Oberg, 105, Silvana Gomez Juarez, 31, Otman Azaitar, 4, and Frankie Edgar, 0.8. For 267 DraftKings points. In 2nd place was me, Blanchfield 123, Poirier 66, Hooker 97, Gomez Juarez 31, Otman Azaitar 4, and Edgar 0.8 for 323.79. And then 1st place is Monk, Aaron Blanchfield 123, Zhang Wei Li 93, Jackson 73, Azaitar 4, Chandler 46, and Edgar 0.8 for 341.96. Congrats, Monk. I think that's 2 or 3 in a row for you.
Oh, it's 3, baby. It's 3. And this would be a very different conversation if I didn't, take Ryan Spann out of my lineup. If I didn't take Petrosky out of my lineup. If I didn't take Pajeda out of my lineup. You guys might have a new leader in the clubhouse. I tell you that much right now. But yeah, things are getting close here. I got to try to keep my streak alive. I've just been saving it this whole time, guys. That's all. I mean, I've just been saving it. Seeing what's going to happen. And, now is probably the time I'm just like, all right, I got to get it out there.
Yeah, I mean, it's getting very close with the 4 cards left. We'll take a look at the current standings. We are at 38 cards, and 4th is Weezy with 15,319, and 3rd is Monk with 15,435, and 2nd is Gordo with 15,630, and 1st is me with 15,632. Gordo is 1.8 points behind the leader. Monk is 196 points behind the leader, and Weezy is 312 behind the leader. It's getting very, very tight here. Curious to see how it plays out. But in terms of lineups this week, we will start with you, Gordo. What do you got for this week?
For this week, this one may change because I do think there are a ton of options. And I would really interested to see what you guys have to say on this one as well. But we are going to go with Jack Della, Maddalena up top, Sergey Spivak, Brady Highstand, Muslim Salikhov, who we did not talk about today, I don't think, Chase Sherman, and Teresa Bleda.
Yeah, we're pretty close there. Weezy, how about you?
I have got Jack Della, Nosferatu, Brady Highstand, Vanessa Demopoulos, Viva La Grease, Zhalgas, Zhumagulov, and Chase the Vanilla Gorilla Sherman.
Monk, how about you?
Very close to both you guys. I figured we would have at least 3 or 4 of the same fighters. I've got Jack Della, Nosferatu, Brady Highstand, Vanessa Demopoulos, Ion Cuțelaba, and Jennifer Maia.
Let's go. Right.
Did you have Chase Sherman in that, Monk?
No.
We have the same line. We have the same lineup, but you have Maia and I have Sherman.
Oh, nice. Interesting.
Yeah, I got
it's
Jack
that kind
Della.
of week, you guys. There are so many.
Yeah.
There are so many plays that are just sticking out like sore thumbs. Like, how do you not have Della? How do you not have Spivak? How do you not have Highstand? And then from there you just fill in the rest of the guys.
Exactly. Yeah, we're close. I got Della. I got Cuțelaba, Demopoulos, Highstand, Sherman, and Spivak. So yeah, we're all really close this week. Which I don't know. It's good for me because I'm in first, but I don't know. We'll have to see what happens. And I might change that lineup throughout the week as well. Let's see what we got going. Boston Nick in the chat saying smash the like. I agree. All right. What we're going.
I was going to say, sorry. Justin Viegas in the chat says you guys make it hard. Jack should have been taken away from you. I agree, but dude, there's no 9,500. There's no 9,400. There's no 9,300. Like he's an automatic go in your lineup type guy. I don't know what else to tell you.
Yeah, I mean he's a if you don't have him in your lineup this week, you're probably gonna be at a big disadvantage. So you got to have Jack. What we'll do now is we'll go over our quick picks. Uncle Weezy, we'll start with you. You got your picks for this week?
Yeah. Pass me for just a sec because I gotta find the fight card.
All right. We got a dono. We got Philip V in the chat. $2 dono saying appreciate the work. We appreciate you, Philip, for hanging out in the dono. Does go a long, long way here at Pub Sports. Appreciate you a lot. Gordo, do you have your picks for this week?
Of course I do. I may be a bit slow in the prize picks, but I got the quick picks ready to go. Teresa Bleda to start off the card. I'll take Brady Highstand, Vanessa Demopoulos, Ricky Tercios, Miles Johns, Jennifer Maia, Charles Johnson, Jack Della Maddalena, Muslim Salikhov. I have not refreshed this page. I still have Cody Brundage on it. We're going to go with Chase Sherman with the upset. We're going to go with Ian Cuțelaba with the upset. And we're going to go with Sergey Spivak. I have picked a lot of dogs this week, but it's going to be a fun one.
Yeah, I have a couple myself. Give me Silva to kick off the card, Brady Highstand, Demopoulos, Miles Johns, Ricky Tercios, get some help. Give me Maryna Moroz, Charles Johnson, Jack Della Maddalena, Muslim Salikhov, Chase Sherman, Ian Cuțelaba, and Sergey Spivak, the Vampire. Weezy, what are your quick picks for this week?
I got Nosferatu as Uncle Weezy's ass shaving of the week. I got Nzechukwu, Cortes-Acosta by decision, Fialho, Maddalena, Zhalgas, Maryna Moroz, Miles Johns, get some help, Ricky Tercios, Vanessa Demopoulos, Brady Highstand, 5-unit bet, and Natalia Silva.
And last but not least, we got Monk. Let's hear it.
Very close picks here as well. I'll take Spivak, Nzechukwu, Waldo, Cortes-Acosta, Muslim Salikhov, Jack Della Maddalena, Zhalgas, Zhumagulov, Maryna Moroz, Miles Johns, Ricky Tercios, Vanessa Demopoulos, Brady Highstand, and flip a coin. I'll go with the newcomer, Teresa Bleda.
All right. Well, we did it. 12 fights. It should be a fun card. And we got the week break and then 3 cards to end the year. It's been a fun year. It's been a fun year it's been fun seeing where we all line up, and it's getting close. It's getting close. I'm really curious to see who's able to pull it off in these last couple cards. But Weezy, let the people know where they can find you and what you have going on throughout the rest of the week for some content.
Yeah, I'll probably be going live tonight, 10 o'clock Central Time for Ask Weezy. But other than that, I'm done with content for the week, and we've got next week off. So you can find me right here on Pub Sports Radio about 10 days from now for Stat Diggers. We'll be doing it for UFC Orlando. You can find me on the MMA Engine YouTube channel, and you can find me on my YouTube channel, Uncle Weezy, on Twitter at MMA Weezy. Let's bathe in the blood of our vanquished Draftkings enemies, and let's stack cash tickets like flapjacks for UFC Vegas 65.
I know Spivak's gonna be bathing in the blood because he's a freaking vampire. He loves
right.
it. Yes, sir. He's terrifying looking. Weezy, you sent me that picture the other day. I woke up crying because I just saw his face. It was terrifying. I can't believe you did that.
I had to. What am I gonna do? I gotta start some shit every once in a while, you know.
Oh my goodness. Yeah, I get it. Gordo, how about you? Where can they find you? What you have going on throughout the rest of the week?
Yeah, I actually got a decently quiet week here, except for the fact that I keep looking this way because it looks like my video recording the file got corrupted. So it looks like I'll be probably going live to do my DraftKings picks instead of editing this, which is fine. I'll probably do that tomorrow around 6 or 7 p.m. Eastern on the Plays and Fades YouTube channel. In terms of any other content, Wiz and Lou will be doing their football bets tonight around 10 p.m. EST. Probably join there as well. And other than that, DMs are open at GamblesGordo on Twitter. I hope everyone has a great week off next week. And I was just made aware it's also American Thanksgiving. So happy Thanksgiving to all the Americans out there as well.
Yep, cannot wait. Monk, how about you? Where can they find you and what you have going on throughout the rest of the week?
We just call it Thanksgiving down here, Gordo, but I do appreciate that. You can find me on Twitter at Monkmatics. You can find me on YouTube. I just put out Game Theory. In fact, that should be out right now. All breakdown of all 12 fights, stat heavy for DK. Salary Voodoo also out on the MMA Engine, where I go over 3 fights that you guys picked from a Salary Voodoo perspective. Find some good GPP plays there. Other than that, guys, find me Monk and Lou's Happy Hour right here on the MMA Engine channel, I should say. And lastly, check out my guy Lou Betya. Just did a ton of work for the, I don't know if you've ever heard of it, World Cup coming up. It's this really small event, happens like every 4 years, not a big deal, but he just put out a ton of stuff on the World Cup that you should definitely check out. That guy's on fire when it comes to betting footy, as they call it. Thank you, Pub Sports Radio, and we will see you guys in 2 weeks.
Yeah, and I just got off a show with Lou as well. It is on the MMA Engine. It is called Props to Consider, and then maybe bet. So check that out. And I did give out a draw. I gave out a draw on the show as well. So go check out and see which fight I could potentially end in a draw. But follow me on Twitter, DFS_numbers, Instagram, DFS by the numbers, YouTube, here on Pub Sports, my channel, DFS by the numbers, and then, of course, on the MMA Engine. Leave a like, subscribe, and get some help, Ricky Tercios. We'll see you guys later.